You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Hello, welcome back, Skyrim Addict podcast. I am Michael. I'm joined by Victor.
Good evening.
And Ray.
Yeah, hello.
And tonight, or today, or whenever you listen to it, tonight for us, will be a little mod heavy, Skyrim mod, and then we'll get into some Starfield modding. I have been continuing the legacy of the Dragonborn character, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. There's so many, it's not just collecting items. I think the last time we played through it, because my game glitched so early and I kind of lost the save, I didn't realize how much there was going to be in it. And I don't know, I'm 15 quests in at this point and I don't have any other add-ons. I just have the legacy of the Dragonborn.
You're talking about specific LOTD quests.
Yes, yeah, for that and the guild. So all that wrapped together. So I don't have Moonpath to Elsewhere or anything like that added on too. So
wait a minute. Sorry, I thought Moonpath to Elsewhere was built in now.
I think, that is actually, I shouldn't have said
all right.
I should have said, okay. I was trying to think of one of the other ones offhand, but
Wheels of Low or whatever.
Yeah, Wheels of Low. There you go. Oh God, remember Wheels of Low? Oh jeez.
No,
try not to. Try really hard not to.
I have deliberately forgotten about it.
I've tried not to think about that since we played through. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Elsewhere is added into it. Yes, that's correct. But so it's just I was looking for. I'm helping was it Mondros, the guy with the glasses, build a planetarium, and I accidentally came across another note which started a whole nother set of quests when I was looking for the note for the planetarium, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm collecting all these items, and which I probably should have found much earlier. But I just didn't poke around enough, I guess, in the upstairs of the guild house. So you're collecting tools and books around Skyrim, obviously. And then you can put them into this one pouch, or I forget what it's called, tool bag, whatever it's called. And then if they're all in there and you are holding the bag or have the bag on you, all the effects from those things are active.
Oh, okay. Sort of like the suits of cards?
Yes. Yeah, you can actually put those in there. There's some.
Okay.
It's only specialty items that you can put in there. So, the decks of cards, and then there's some other things you get. There's a torch and some other stuff that you get, spyglass, things like that. So they had little different things, just, I guess, more related to the archaeology and things like that and exploring. Right.
So you want to be holding the bag, but you don't want to be just half in the bag. You definitely want to be fully in the bag. So
you want to be fully in the bag, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Very clear.
Very.
Yeah.
And then I ended up I'm up to, there's a Snow Elf storyline, Much Ado, which I think was also a mod, Much Ado About Snow Elves.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is also wrapped into it now. So I'm in the middle of that now. So you do some excavation, and then all of a sudden this whole storyline starts up, and there's, you have your typical Falmer Snow Elf kind of storyline. I'm not all the way through that yet, so and I'm doing this with while going through Dawnguard, so I'm going back and forth to Fort Dawnguard, which was convenient because one of the items I needed to find was in Fort Dawnguard, so that helped out. So I was able to get that, but
so have you finished the main quest?
The main quest. Did I? No. Oh yeah. You know what? I don't think I ever did. Maybe I did. I have dragons flying around. I don't remember if I finished it though.
So it's triggered anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I finish it? That's a good question.
So
I don't remember.
I read somewhere that you should. I was going through the fandom Legacy Dragonborn wiki last night. I'll get back into my own experiences soon. But and it said one of the things it suggests is that you become Thane of all the holds before you trigger the Civil War.
I haven't triggered the Civil War yet, so that I will have to work on then. Yeah.
Something about certain items become unrecoverable if you trigger certain
gotcha.
Quests and things like that. So some have you experienced that, Ray? Sort of found items that are no longer available to craft or to find?
No, I can't remember anything. I mean, from the time I was deep in it a couple of years ago. The playthrough that I'm doing now, I think I've only got like 250 items.
Okay.
And I've been focused on the Stones of Baron Zaya.
That's right. Yeah.
So, anything that I've started, it's only just been the very beginning to get access to one of the stones.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there is. I have definitely lost items where I couldn't get them for one reason or another. Or I, used them in the quest before making a replica of them or something like that. So I've definitely lost items for that. And isn't there, what is the Daedra quest where there's two different items? Is it Clavicus Vial?
Clavicus Vial, yeah. The Rueful Axe and the Mask.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess unless you do it both ways or do it the way where you can get both, there's that one specific, there's like a specific
Well,
way.
you don't kill Barbas. That's the main thing.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get the mask, but you can craft the Rueful Axe. I believe that's how that works.
How that works. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, I haven't gone into that quest yet. So,
because if you kill Barbas, you won't get the mask, and then you cannot get it.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think I've ever actually used the mask.
No,
maybe once or twice, but not for any length of time. It's not a bad, but I think there's one of the Dragon Priest masks that has similar attributes. Isn't there?
That sounds about right.
It's persuasion and something else, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So. I think I've always had one of the Dragon Priest masks on when I've done that quest or, been far enough along where I haven't really had to worry about using it. At this point, I'm like 100 in smithing, so I'm not really using anything that comes my way.
Yeah, that's the problem with some of these long playthroughs, right? You end up so powerful that it's you have to try to do things to. Are you already playing on legendary or whatever? So there's not that. So I don't play on legendary. But
I usually don't go that high because I don't want. Honestly, I'm not looking for a long. Like I don't want to battle a dragon for a half hour.
Yeah, really.
When I only have like 45 minutes to play in the morning, so I'm like, I'll keep it on a lower. Like I've played the game for I don't know, God knows what, 5,000 hours at this point. So I'm like, do I need a tough battle with a dragon at this point?
Yeah.
Like,
the thrill is gone. Yeah.
Like I don't want to one-shot it. Like I keep it at a level where I'm not one-shotting dragons, but I'm like, do I need the prolonged battles at this point? I'm in it more for right now I'm in it to see the story of Legacy of the Dragonborn and all the things wrapped into it. So I'm like, I don't need to fight bandits and bears and all and die every 5 seconds. Not the purpose of my game this time.
Yeah.
So Volsung is the Dragon Priest mask.
Oh, that's
20% better prices, carry 20 points more, and breathe underwater.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very random.
Interesting combination.
Yeah. And breathe underwater. Yeah.
I wonder if we could create a character in a playthrough around that mask. Wouldn't be an Argonian, that's for sure.
No, it would not be an Argonian.
Go to every shipwreck off the North Coast.
I know, a Nord raised by Argonians. That's what,
Oh, yeah.
I see it now.
kind of like a Mowgli character.
That's right. Yeah.
Trying to follow along with his Argonian parents as they dive underwater.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I did use the. So I did the college. I'm done the College of Winterhold. And I also did the where you go down and I can't remember the name of it. You get the 5 rings or the 4 rings. Sorry. And,
the Azadals or something. Is that the Azadal thing?
Yeah. No, it's the. Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, that's Colbjorn Barrow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the one. Yeah, this is the one in the midden where you put the rings on.
Oh, yeah, like the Forge Master.
Forge Master's fingers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I don't have
the Forge Master's fingers. Is the orc thing.
That's orc. Yeah. This is the where the students went missing or something, and they have the rings. I don't know, but it's it's near the forge, the Daedric Forge,
the Atronach Forge.
Atronach Forge. Yeah. So I didn't make copies of the rings before putting them on the hand, and you can't take them off the hand once they're on there.
Oh, whoops. But wait a minute. So I thought that once you'd had an item in your inventory, that you could make copies of it even if you gave it up.
I've found some things it doesn't happen with, but most things, yes.
Oh, okay.
But maybe those things aren't even in the museum, so I'm not sure. That could also be the issue. Okay. Those rings that you have to steal from the library at the college. They're in that chest, and then you put them on the glove. They may not be in the museum. I'm not positive. I just know I didn't make copies of them beforehand.
That'd be odd if they weren't. I mean, that's like vanilla game.
Yeah, you would think it would be pretty.
Item.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't think I've ever actually completed that particular little quest there, so I have no idea what you get out of it.
God, I can't remember. I don't know why. You put the rings on the hand or the Daedric gauntlet or whatever it is, and then you battle what is it that comes up? Is it a Daedric warrior or something like that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then,
well, like so many things in Skyrim, as fun as the game is, there are these great quest items that are of epic, turn out to be kind of.
It's just one of those things that, by the time you get to it, it's never really super useful because it's usually you get to it towards the end of the college.
Yeah, it's like the lexicon thing where that quest where you're supposed to be able to get something that some Dwemer artifact that allows you to rule the world, and it gives you 5% bonus on smithing or something.
Smithing, yeah, very. And it seems to me that that's even bugged.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, it's still a fun quest, so that's nothing. It's I'm not really complaining or anything. It's just they are kind of disappointing.
And that's the same. That's the same Dwemer Ruin where you get Mjol's sword, right?
Yeah, a Bunchensell, right? Isn't that the one? Yeah. Or is Zinch left? I don't know. Anyway, yes, it is. It's the same because Grimsever is right near the entrance to Blackreach, I think, in whatever, isn't it? It's right where you have to kill a big Centaurian.
Yeah.
And then once you kill a Centaurian, there's a gateway to Blackreach, and there's also Grimsever as usually is here.
Yeah. So apparently it's a Dremora pirate.
Oh. Okay.
How did I not remember that? And you can I have never released him, but apparently you can release him or kill him. I've always just immediately killed him.
Oh.
So
I wonder what you get if you release him.
Let's see. Release you get you get Velek Sane's treasure map. If you kill him, you get 2 scimitars, a Daedra heart, Hammerfell garb, and red guard boots.
Which is probably the same thing you'd find if you found the treasure at the end of the treasure map.
This is a good point. Let's see what his treasure is. I don't think I have ever actually saved him. Or if I did, it was a really long time ago. Yeah. I mean, I've done this, a handful of times here and there. It's just one of those things where it's not like important to anything. It's kind of like a fun side quest, especially in the beginning when you find it and you do it and all that stuff. But
it's like a Rander. I don't think I've ever killed a Rander to get the staff of whatever the dreams are.
Yeah, because you have to kill him to get it. Yeah. I just had to give up Ilya because
oh no.
Well, because I started Dragonborn, so I have
Serana.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, you need a multi-follower mod, sir.
Yes, I know. I'm like, Serana's like, I can't stay. I'm like, wait, can't we all just get along? Right, yeah. Can't we all just go? I was gonna have
That's so sad.
We could have took on a lot of stuff with all three of us.
That's right.
With those two, like slinging ice and everything else.
You just kick back in the corner.
Yeah,
that's right.
Drink a mead.
Well, I did have an issue though because I had Ilya when I went to Dawnguard at first. And then that second time you go after you have to go do something and then you come back there. And I think
she shows up.
Yeah, well, it was before that one. There's
okay.
When the vampires show up at the door. I think it's after you rescue Serana and she's back at Volcar or whatever. It's actually before you go inside, they're outside. But the problem is Ilya's like throwing like ice everywhere and has an ice. So she's hitting all the Dawnguard people.
Aggro and the Dawnguard, yeah.
And then the fight just never ends. So I go to talk to Irsaron and like I'm talking for like 2 seconds and then he's back in the fight again after she's back up off the ground ready to fight some more. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a mess. I'm like, I gotta reload this save because I'm gonna be here for like 3 weeks. Going back and forth between this battle here. Nobody's gonna die. They're just gonna keep going onto the ground. But that's the one problem with the magic followers. They can get a little
little area of effect.
Yeah, it gets a little hairy with that area of effect with their
I have
spells.
A real kick whenever one follower aggroes another. That happens once in a while, and they start fighting. It's always fun to.
It does happen.
Yeah. So I have my long quest to find the right combination of mods to play to have another playthrough at Legacy is sort of finally settled in. I think we talked last time. I'd been talking about Wabbajack and I loaded up a bunch of different Wabbajack mod lists, and they're all really good and wonderfully curated and everything. But I found every single one of them, for me anyway, just didn't cut it. There's things about them I didn't like, or sometimes I think these modders or mod listers get a little carried away with just too much stuff. It's like it's just too many textures, too many town mods, and everything under the sun. How many 2,000 mods can you fit under the hood of Skyrim and still make it stable? And it's fine. It's cool, but they also fall into the trap of, if you can't make it good, make it big. If you can't make it nice, make it, lots of color. And so the ENBs are just over the top and everything. Anyway, so I finally settled on trying to put together my own list, and I have I think a well selected bunch of, texture mods and things, which are as bases, but, LOTD is a very difficult mod to make stable on your own without lots of patches and running patchers and things like that. So you have to be really careful with the mods you load. And so I try to be fairly careful with that. I've used several of Shion's mods and a few of Simon Magus' mods, both of whom I like a lot. And their stuff tends to be quite stable, and they're both really good modders and then some other stuff. But anyway, I got a list put together, which had been it was based on a mod list that I'd been playing a lot of previously and was very stable, with just a single dashed patch for the leveled lists, and that was it. And so I knew that to be quite stable. I added Legacy and a few other small things in, and immediately started having crashes. And it was a very, very specific crash that I ended up having to deal with, and that was only during a battle, and I never quite figured out exactly what the trigger was, but it was mostly to do with swords and shields. And it was a hard crash to desktop. Just something would trigger with a sword and a shield bashing, or shield bashing in particular, and it just game would crash. And so I was talking with Sean about it. And he was saying, maybe it's a mesh, maybe it's a bad mesh or a bad patch somewhere that's conflicting with a mesh. And so I went through a lot of stuff, and that was never very satisfactory. Finally, I ended up thinking it had to do with the curios. There's a section of, I think it's part of Anniversary Edition, and perhaps that's one of the mistakes. It was trying to run this. Did you guys use Legacy with the Anniversary Edition or just with Skyrim Special Edition?
I have
Anniversary.
Yeah,
Anniversary. Okay. Anyway, there's this curios section of the Anniversary Edition, and I found that the patches for that, in at least on PC anyway, there's a couple of big patch collections for Legacy of the Dragonborn, and it turned out to be some of the patches for the curios section of Anniversary Edition. So I started going through those, and once I got the right ones taken out, the game turned stable. I haven't had a crash for a while. So I seriously doubt it's the patches. It's something else some other combination of things I have running, as it always is with this kind of thing. It's not one mod in particular. Any number of, you could take out one of Enai's or Simon Magis's mods and it might seem to cure the crashes, but it's really not that. It's something else, and so, anyway, but I finally got it running reasonably well. So, and I decided to go. So I'm also running these mods that I very much like, called At Your Own Pace. So, it covers the main quest, it covers Dawn Guard, it covers I think the Mages, the College, and 2 or 3 others, maybe the Thieves Guild, and there's 5 or 6 of them. And it just allows you to not have to trigger the next stage of the quest unless you ask the right question. So it won't appear in your quest log until you, for instance, once you warn Balgroof about the dragons and Riverwood, he sends the soldiers to Riverwood, but that's it. He does not ask you to go talk to Farengar. You have to go to Farengar and ask him, "Are you researching dragons?" And then that will kick off the next stage of the quest. I think we've talked about this before, and it's the same thing with several of the other. So I'm using that. So I decided to go to trigger Legacy of the Dragonborn first. So I found the note on the bar in Banner Bear and ran to Solitude and did that. So that's basically where I am. So I've got the Bellhammer and all that, and I've gotten into the museum. And that's about as far as I've gotten. It took me a week and a half to actually get the thing stable enough to play. But it's I'm really looking forward to really, digging in and going forward with it. That's my Legacy of Dragonborn story for now.
I had joined up at the college and got those 2 stones. So the one in the the Archmage's quarters.
Yep.
And the one in Felglow Creek Keep.
That's right. Just one there. Yeah.
And so then one thing about that Felglow Creek Keep on to call it Creep, is I got 23 museum pieces.
Oh, really?
Going through that. Most of them were books.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of books.
But that was a haul.
So when you get books, do you take them into the library in the museum?
No,
or
I just
throw throw them in the box.
Yeah, I just put them in the box.
Yeah.
Because things are so much easier now that I recognize the little, plus sign that tells me that it's something I should be collecting.
I think that's Curator's Companion, isn't it? That's not the Quick Loot mod. That's the Curator's Companion.
Quick Loot is where I see it, but it could vary.
Because I don't have Quick Loot, and it shows up in SkyUI.
It shows up for you. Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I haven't had to become quite as intimately familiar with all my mods.
Yeah.
So then I started the Thane of Solitude. So I went and cleared out Wolf Skull Cave, and then went back and told him everything's cool. And so now I've got to wait for him to call me back.
Yeah, the second note. Yeah.
And so in the meantime, I thought, I've got the lute and the flute from the Bard's College, and from going through those caves. And so then I thought, okay, well, I'll just go get that started. And there's no doubt going to be something in that dungeon when I go get the book. So I went to and I talked to Viarmo, and he said, yeah, go talk to this girl over here. I'm like, crap, that's right. I've got a Bard mod.
Oh.
And so now to start the Bard's College, so I had to take an exam on what all there's a ton of it on history. So I had a history exam. I had a popular song test I had to take.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
I had to drums, flutes, and it's not lyres. It's lutes. Yeah. So I had to take a proficiency exam on each one of those. So they give you a book on, how you make them, how you take care of them, and how you play them. And so then you do an oral exam on each one of
That's
those.
Awesome. I love it. What's this mod called?
What is it called? Better Bards, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Bard Reborn.
Bard Reborn. Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
Of course.
And so then on top of that, you have to become proficient in playing drums, playing flute, and playing lute. Which means that you have to, so you get a drum and you go and you start playing the drum. And it starts out and you're just banging away on this drum, making stupid noises. Everybody around you is going, "Oh my God, make it stop." And so, great. You do, 3 of them that are really bad, 3 of them that are pretty bad, and then, 1 of them that's okay. And then you can go take your test and pass the test for playing. But you definitely develop a thick skin because, these are like, why do you have to play it so loud? If you don't stop, we're going to have you forcibly removed.
That's awesome.
So that took up a whole lot of time.
Yeah, sounds like
because you got to answer these questions, and there's 3 or 4 answers to each question, and you have to get them all right.
Oh God.
So it's they expect you to read the books. Well, of course you're not going to read the books. You're gonna guess, and then you remember that one, and then you move on to the next question.
It sounds like what I do for my security training for the government. Oh, should I say that? Yeah. Read the book? Nah, screw that.
Definitely watch the entire video.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, click. Yeah, exactly.
So I finally got to the point where I got to go to the cave and get the book, and fight Olaf One Eye.
Oh yeah, yep.
But I still haven't gotten the message from Solitude to go to finish that up, to become Thane, which is just as well because I wouldn't have had time.
Yeah,
because I was too busy taking tests.
Yeah,
too busy playing drums and taking tests.
Being a bard is hard work.
One of them is they expect you to read all of the songs of the Return and the songs of the Kings,
Wow.
and answer questions about those.
Oh wow,
that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty fun mod. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna have to guess my way through this one.
Fair enough.
I mean, it was to the point where, okay, so that one was answer number 1. That was number 3. The next one was number 3. The next one was number 1. This next one has got to be number 2. It just has to be the odds. All right. It was number 2. Perfect.
There you go.
Excellent.
That's how I ended up taking that test. But yeah, so now I'm proficient in the Poetic Edda.
That definitely adds a lot of because Bards is very quick otherwise, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I went through it before Winterhold, and I forgot how short it was, and I was like, oh wait, I'm actually done already. we're actually having the bonfire already.
But at one point, I was in the Weekend Skeever playing the flute, and I ended up getting 4 gold.
Whoa!
Tip.
Nice. Adds up.
So.
I'll hire you as a bard.
So that was fun.
That seems like a fun, like if you actually want to play as a bard, that seems like a lot of fun to add something.
Yeah,
like that.
And I had remembered after they sent me to talk to the girl, I'm like, oh crap. Because I did do a bard character where I went through this whole thing.
So it was already in. Yeah.
But so I knew what I was in for. I just didn't remember the answers.
Yeah. I mean, why would you? Honestly,
right.
I mean, I can't remember that there was a Dremora pirate under Winterhold, and I've probably been there 1,500 times. So, I don't know. Remembering the questions to a Bard's exam.
But it was definitely fun. So Bard Reborn it's like 3 different Bard mods combined into one.
Oh, nice.
So Become a Bard, Bard College expansion, and the Bard's Reborn. Student of the Song.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Let's see. It looks like it was updated last October, so it's doesn't seem to have a whole lot of there's not a lot of posts complaining about it, so it looks pretty stable.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have any trouble with it. Oh, one of the other things you got to do is that so Bard's College expansion, I think, adds a bunch of displays of historic instruments.
Oh, cool.
And each one has a little plaque. Well, so there's like 20 of them. And you got to go through and read all of them because she's going to ask you questions about 6 of them.
Ouch. No, I just do what I do when I'm going back and having to take the same stupid cybersecurity or whatever.
My God.
Once a year. Yeah. I pull out my iPhone, and as I'm going through the training, I take pictures of the screens.
Yeah, I do that. I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So just cheat like that, and then you just delete all the pictures later.
For a certain test I take every year, which I will not name the test that I take every year, I walk out of the room while the video is playing and then come back and answer all the questions because I've done it for like a decade and a half. every single year.
Much.
So like, I literally just let the videos play and come back.
You'll sit through it when they actually give you an updated video.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they show you the same video over and over and over again.
Well, I'm an unclassified civilian employee. I don't even rate CUI, so what I get is like the lowest level of the low. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like videos about phishing emails from 15 years ago, and you're like, I don't think this is viable anymore. But
that and all I know is that all the bad guys wear hoodies. That's
everybody.
Yes,
100% true. Don't wear a hoodie with a hood up.
Always. Yeah. So every time I see a hoodie, I know it's a bad guy.
That's a bad guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I actually that Bard one sounds fun. I may have to create just a Bard character because I've never done any of the expanded Bard stuff, and it's always so like you always want more out of it.
Yeah,
it's such a short, simple quest line, and it feels like it should be bigger because there are bards like literally everywhere you go in the game. Like every inn.
And with this, you can go into any inn and perform, and people will clap at the end and give you coins.
I wonder how that works with is it Ordinator that has a performance perk where it allows you to do that? Yeah, I think it's Ordinator. Yeah. There must be some sort of patch for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Work together. Yeah.
I've hit the really gold tipping point too in my game though, where gold is meaningless at this point because I'm just getting so much. Like every time I go back to the museum, there's like 2,000 gold, or there's the sell chest up in the safe house that I was just instead of going to sell things.
I finally I long time ago stopped bothering because something's bugged out with what's her name, Samia.
Oh, really?
The merchant in Solitude.
Yep.
Where she never has more than 12 gold.
Oh God! Yeah,
wow.
That's annoying. Yeah.
And so I instead of trying to figure out why that is, I just dump everything in the chest.
That's what I do.
Is that the one in bits and pieces? Baron's wife. Yeah. That's happened to me a couple of times. So not necessarily with her, but sometimes they just get stuck.
Yeah, and they don't reload. Yeah, their money.
But
I just throw it all in the chest too.
And it's just like I finally went back and checked, and I had like 8,600 gold in there. Great, thanks.
Yeah, between that and Golden Hills Estates, if you just continue money machine. Yeah.
Golden Hills definitely, like once you get it all up and running and have crops and everything, it really does quickly. Plus then if you're doing like alchemy or even like doing one of like the playthroughs with using the food items, and recipes and stuff, you can really get you get the stuff plus the money for selling it also,
Right.
And if you're using the food for buffs, depending on type of playthrough.
And I think you can sort of double dip with the alchemy ingredients too, because they appear in the bureau downstairs, but you can also harvest them upstairs.
Can pick them as well. Yeah.
So I try to grow things that make expensive potions at least early on, and then you can make a lot of money that way, and then powerful potions later.
Yeah.
Because I never eat food for like the vegetable soup thing. I think I've maybe used that a dozen times, maybe.
Yeah, that's same.
That's the major slack, which is great. Have you been? Have either of you guys been watching his Starfield playthrough yet?
No, I
have. Yeah. I've watched the first 3 episodes now, so I haven't gotten this far. It's typical major slack though. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll throw that on at lunch tomorrow. I didn't realize he had started one.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I think finally went to it. I learned a couple of things just from the first one. There's a couple of minor little details that I hadn't picked up on, particularly focusing the laser. You can mine faster that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
I hadn't realized that. So let's hear about Starfield mods, Ray.
Yeah, like how's that adventure going?
Well, yeah. Speaking of not having to worry about money anymore, so one of the mods that I threw on was it reduces the price to register ships.
Oh,
so now it's more like registering a car than
Well, not to derail that part, but let me ask you. So I think I've only done that once because I haven't played the game that much. But is the idea of registering a ship, which say it's a 75,000 credit ship or whatever, I don't know, and it costs you like what 2/3 of that to register it, but the idea being that you're going to make that money back when you sell the ship. Is that what it's all about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But early on it's horrible. So
yeah, it's onerous.
You're only making 1,000 or 2,000 credits per ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it just doesn't really, pay to do that. It's more trouble than it's worth. Because the amount of time that it takes to get that ship, the bullets that you spent, shooting the guys inside the ship so you could take it.
Yeah,
that's true too. That is a cost.
Next thing you know, you're not even breaking even. So you have to use a med pack and bam, you're done. So
and remind me what is the point of registering the ship in the first place?
So registering the ship gives you the ability to either sell it or or do work on it.
So can you sell it as contraband otherwise if you don't register it? No. Mm-hmm. So you cannot sell it at all if you don't register.
Yeah, there's workarounds. Jess talked about it a little bit on the Fallout feed this week. So there's flipping menu tricks that you can do to sell a ship that isn't registered, but essentially the game wants the ship to be registered. You can fly it around all you want to, but you can't sell it and you can't do any repair or any modifications to it until it's registered. So I had finally gotten one of my characters to the character that I built specifically with, getting to the end of the Constellation quest line. I got him through and then was ready for something different. So I decided that, I had already been dabbling with mods, but nothing really serious. And so I decided to jump all the way in. And the funny thing is that when I started it a few weeks ago, it changed within a week, the way that you actually do the mods, because the tools are just coming out, on a pretty regular basis now.
And like we were saying on one of the chats that they haven't actually, they're not going to release the creation kit until next year or sometime, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So all this stuff is just being cobbled together by modders that that know enough about how these things work to get it put together.
Yeah.
Because it's still relatively close to Skyrim and Fallout in structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the big thing was that we got the script extender.
So is that Silverlock, the same people that do all the other script? Okay, cool. All right. I hadn't looked at their website yet.
And then we got address library plugins.
Nice.
Okay. And so that opened things up even more. And then there's a console command runner. So when the game starts up, it'll automatically run these batch files. that you've created. And so that's one way of getting things going. So I've got a mod that ensures that all boss chests contain legendary items.
Oh.
And so that runs through a console command. So that uses that. And then there's another, there's a plugin enabler that is a text file that runs that where normally your mod manager would list all the plugins that you're running for all your mods, and keep track of those and load them into the game. Well, so Starfield doesn't have plugin capabilities yet. So you have to have this manually done. So you've got this little text file, and every time you add a mod, you zip over and type it into your plugin list. But you have to know. So that's your load order.
Okay.
So when somebody says my mod has to be the last in the load order, if you have to put them in.
They all say that.
Yeah, they all say, right.
That's true. They do.
Fortunately, at this point, not everybody is, but so you're manually creating your plugin list. And
so no loot yet, of course.
No.
Are you running this? You're not running this through Vortex either.
Vortex is managing all of the mods that run through the standard in-game data format.
Okay.
So textures and stuff like that.
Right.
With Starfield, a lot of stuff also runs through your My Games folder.
Okay.
And so those I have to manually add.
That's still even true in Skyrim for certain things, logging, stuff like that. Yeah, it still goes through. Yeah, My Games.
And so like I added a flashlight texture that takes it from a light bar to a light circle.
Oh, okay.
And so that had to go into the My Games folder. Now it still uses the same data structure. So you look at it and, it could easily be confused for one that would go into the game files.
Can you give it a path, or does it have to just be in the base folder of Starfield and My Games?
It goes. So I extracted the file manually into the data folder.
I guess where I'm going is, in other words, do you have to, if you can't give it a specific path for a specific profile, so to speak, that you're playing, it's global to all your characters, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So there essentially right now there's no profiles for Starfield modding.
Right.
You're modding the whole game, no matter what character.
Yeah.
You play. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, the way that I was doing it before, I was only running a couple of mods. And so I did run one profile that didn't trigger the mod warning and one profile that did trigger the mod warning. And so,
as in no achievements or other?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now there's a mod that enables achievements. But at this point, it still looks like that. It all gets very complex. So I ran into a problem where I was creating characters. And when you go into load a character, it gives you a list of all your named characters. And you can select whichever one you want to play. And start playing. And so because I was running, 10, 12 characters, and I would play this one for a day or two and play that one for a day or two, because one was a shotgunner, one was a rifleman, one was a pistol build, one was a stealth build, one was, stealth melee. So I had all these different characters. But as soon as I started modding them, they would disappear. So their name wouldn't show up in the list anymore. So all of their saves were there. So if you go to the all saves, every save file is there. The only problem is that the save files don't list the name of the character. They name the location where the last save was, the time, how many hours, but not the name of the character.
So they have is the date embedded in the save file name?
Yes, but
so you
last
only play
time
Fred on Tuesdays and
no.
Oh, okay.
Because if you play that character last week and now you play it this week, now it's got this week's date. Now, yeah, if you were to say, only play it on, a certain day of the week.
Yeah.
But if you accidentally load that one,
yeah,
then it's got the wrong date on it. Yeah. So my workaround for that was, I would change the name to the ship for that character to that character's name.
Oh, that's smart. That's right. That's where I said a handy little kludge, right? Yeah.
And so I would just make sure that whenever I was done playing that character, I would be on their ship and save it. And so then when the save, when I looked at the whole save list, I could look at their name because it was the name of the ship.
Nice.
And bring them up. So
theoretically, you could also do it by every time you finish a session, moving the saves out of the folder. And then when you want to play that one again, swapping the saves around. I used to do that with Skyrim early on too. Before Mod Organizer and everything.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things that I miss from Vortex not so Vortex is still in beta with Starfield. And so they only do one save file. There isn't one for each profile. So, but at this point, I'm just playing my modded character, so it's always the continue from where you left off. So
yeah.
I'll probably keep it that for a while because this character is definitely doing all the things that I like the most. So, which is stealing ships and building newer, better ships.
Yeah. Nice.
But I do like the cheap ship register. So now it only costs me a couple of $1,000 to register a ship and can sell it for a considerable profit.
Yeah. I suppose I can guess why they built it the other way, but it is kind of onerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't even have to be a lot different. It just, you should be able to make a profit off of turning a ship.
Yeah. Totally. Or it should be able to find a place to sell it illicitly.
Yeah.
There's already a contraband system in the game, right? There's pirates, there's everything else. So you should be able to, at a considerable discount, perhaps, but still, yeah.
And so right now, the main UI mod is called StarUI. It's the most popular, and that was the first mod that I loaded. It's so much better that I was actually kind of jarred when I was watching. Actually, they might have been Major Slack
Huh.
And watching him, go through the menu to sell some stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, holy crap.
Yeah, it's the old SkyUI versus vanilla inventory in Skyrim. It's the same kind of thing.
And this is even better. Holy smokes! So, so everything is categorized. So, when you're in your miscellaneous tab, there's multiple different kinds of miscellaneous items. And when you work on a ship, it ends up storing all of the junk items from the ship in your miscellaneous inventory. And so you need to sell that, and it can be 100 items. And so in vanilla, you're sell through the whole list.
Oh man.
With StarUI, you bring it up, you click on the tab for, junk items and hit sell everything in category.
Oh, nice.
One button, whole thing. You can just watch the list, go to the top and then empty. You're like,
yeah,
nice.
That's
so much better.
Yeah.
So, and they've recently added a contraband flag. So now when you just bring up your character in the inventory screen, it shows you what your total inventory is, and how much space you have available and all that. And now there's a little contraband flag that shows up in that, and it'll tell you whether the contraband is in your personal inventory or in your ship's inventory.
Oh,
wow. Because when you're flipping a lot of ships, a lot of time there is contraband in those ships, and you don't always find it, especially if you've really had to bang it up bad to take it over, and it's in 0G. So it loses its gravitational field. And so you're floating around in there along with all the other junk. And so it's easy to miss if there's contraband in there. So with that, it flags it. So no more surprises when you're heading into a system that cares.
That's pretty cool.
So
that seems.
Well, I admire your willingness to spend the time to learn all that.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait myself.
Yeah. It definitely was one of those things where you just kind of start, well, what about this? And then, well, what does that one have to do? This one has to do that. Oh, is that how you do that? And then you just keep going and going and going until you,
yeah. Are you getting them all off the Nexus? Is everything coming from Nexus? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, it seems like it was worth it for SkyUI alone.
Yeah,
all the work.
Like
yeah. And if anybody wants to get the StarUI, it does not flag as a mod.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
because I ran that before I had any other mods that did. So that one ran no problem without triggering any mod warning.
Nice.
So, and I have to imagine after Bethesda saw that, they're like, well, that's really what we wanted to do in the first place.
Well, they design everything pretty much for console versus PC, right? So,
yeah.
So, I mean, that's part of it anyway.
Yeah.
They're definitely designed for console.
But it also has a customizable feature to it, so that you can add and subtract columns from the display. So like if you're looking at your weapons, it'll show you all your weapons. But if you also want to see how many bullets you have for that weapon, you can turn that on.
Oh.
And so it'll show you how much ammo you have for that particular weapon.
That's a nice feature.
In your inventory. So quick and easy look.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that's definitely one. If you're playing on PC, you should be using StarUI.
Yes, sir.
Just do it.
I will
do it. worth the trouble.
I'll read up on it, and it sounds like it's like an ESL flagged or the equivalent.
But and it was one that I loaded through Vortex.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to look and see if people have started to make mod organizer work with Starfield. I kind of doubt it yet if this CK isn't out, but maybe they have. So I'll see.
Yeah,
that sounds like a mod you can load without even worrying about a mod. The mod manager. It's just
So, and there's definitely differences when you're looking through the mods. Some of them will work only with the Steam version, not the Game Pass version. So you do have to keep an eye out for that.
That's interesting.
So I think it has to do with the way that file structure is set up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's something. The good old games versions of some games also work differently from the Steam versions.
Yeah.
GOG, that's the CD Projekt Red's game sales.
Yeah.
Good old games.
Yeah, that's how I've got a few different games. I think Fallout 3 I've got through Good Old Games.
Yeah.
Because it runs more stable than the Steam version.
Wow.
Okay.
Really?
Huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. Speaking of other games, I did finish Mirage.
Oh, nice. Good.
It was a good story. Enjoyed it. I like that they didn't put the Animus in till the end. So you weren't going in.
Yeah, I was wondering when I was going to show up. So I haven't gotten to the end yet. So,
well, I don't know if they call it that, but you get to it. You find out more at the end of the story. It's pretty good. And then it kicks you back. It tells you get to a certain point, and it's like, all right, if you go beyond this point, you can't go back. Like you're finishing the story.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you finish the story, it just basically resets time to where you are at that moment. Not within the story. It just like kind of kicks your character back there so you can continue playing. Like, and if you want to collect other things or do other
new game
stuff.
plus kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, your character is where it was at before you went to the very final conclusion of the story. So you're like on a rooftop, and you can go whatever, kill a bunch of guards.
If it's a spoiler, you don't answer. But does the end of Mirage start to tie into Valhalla at all?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember. I remember the end of Valhalla.
Well, it'd be sort of more towards the beginning, right? Because this is before, I think.
Yeah.
Chronologically before, so.
Yeah.
But he appears, he's fairly, I don't know how prominent he was, but he appears quite a bit in Valhalla, right? So, yeah, I was just curious.
It feels like they're starting off a new storyline, like in the same branch, same tree, but different branch of the storyline. It feels that would be how I would think of it, as opposed to like a direct continuation. I mean, they're all kind of related anyway. It's all part of the lore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only other thing I had played. I did download Liza P though. I have that set up now.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I haven't attempted it yet, but I grabbed it off Game Pass the other day.
As far as I got into it, it's beautiful, but it's a Souls-like game, so it's just hard.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, "So is it like Souls-like?" He said, "Oh, yeah, like definitely, yeah." It's like, okay, that's gonna be a frustrating day.
Going along for the first, I don't know, half hour or 45 minutes to play, and it's like, oh yeah, this isn't so bad. This doesn't, and then the first big boss, it's like, oh yeah, okay, it's a Souls game. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh gosh.
And that's pretty much where I ended.
Yeah, I hear that.
I enjoyed what I played.
What's going on in the other shows, Ray? Any No Man's updates?
We're kind of on pins and needles right now because it's about time
for a drop, right? Yeah,
for another update. But it's been really quiet. So we're we're hoping that they're not just so busy playing Starfield that they haven't got their update published. But so that's definitely coming up because they typically do 4 expeditions every year, and we've gotten 3. So we're still waiting on the 4th. But then then in December, they also do a thing where they do a redo. So from Thanksgiving to the end of the year, they'll they'll run the 4 different expeditions again.
Oh, okay.
In a pared down format. So we'll see. Also, they had indicated that there would be 4 parts to the Void Mother story, and we've only gotten 3. So all signs point to an update, except that we don't have an emoji.
Do you think they're giving some space to Starfield because of this, maybe similar player
I can't
base?
imagine. I mean, it's been long enough now that, anybody that, people will definitely go back and play an update to No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I feel like their player base is pretty consistent.
Yeah. I mean, it's just guaranteed. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a character in Starfield. You would definitely go back for the new update. So, we wrapped up the Fallout Feed roundtable. So I had a problem where I couldn't get my character to load after the season was over.
Oh god.
Because I wanted to do one last thing with her. And so finally I got it to reload. I walked her over to the Red Rocket, claimed it, built a couple of things, and then kicked her to the curb.
Oh, wow.
I had my fill of survival after that.
Yeah.
So then I started a new character, and now I just go around blowing myself up with a missile launcher and grenades. I'm like, doesn't matter. I just saved.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about it.
That's good.
Survival is a grind. Can be a grind for sure.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was. I've played survival before with characters that were specifically built
for it
to play survival, and that was a lot of fun. The character that I got on the random roll
for
this roundtable season was not one of those. So the only thing that saved this character was she got Aqua Girl. And so, the 3/4 of the game was spent swimming.
Wow.
Just to avoid any contact with anybody.
Just to stay safe.
So
awesome.
But, yeah. So when you travel from Nuka World to the Commonwealth, so you have to travel by tram because there's no fast traveling. And it's like a 2-second trip, just a fade to black, boom, you're in the new station, you hop out and you're on your way. When you travel from the Commonwealth to Nuka World, you have to use the same tram, but it uses the animation from the first time you go there. And so you are on a tram ride for the entire distance. Going, and it's not like just a direct quick shot. You're going around the outside and you take this big sweep, and it took forever. And so I was definitely done with that too. My gameplay cannot really be characterized as patient. And so that was a bridge too far.
That's just tedious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely tedious.
But still a great time. We had a good season. A lot of good stories from people. A lot of people doing survival for their first time.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So that was fun to hear their stories. So, definitely fun.
Very cool.
Good.
All right. Well, I guess until next time, whenever that may be. We'll see when that is. We'll talk to you all later.
Good night, all.
Take care.